These are the things that have really helped me transform my life from a lost young boy, hopelessly addicted, full of fear, full of shame, full of trauma, and help me move towards becoming the man that I admire, that I respect, living with purpose, loving life, being the best version of myself. So in today's video, I'm going to talk you through the principles of masculine self-mastery. We're going to look at the 6 pillars of self-mastery, which is a framework that I've developed to help me completely transform myself and my life. We're going to look at the process of self-actualization, how to become who you're supposed to be, and we're going to look at all the domains which are important to consider when starting your self-mastery journey. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to give you some useful tools and exercises that you can start practicing today to help you reclaim your life and to help you master yourself and become closer to the man you want to be. So, what does self-mastery mean? To me, it means to master oneself on every level. Now, this isn't something that we can adhere to perfectly 100% of the time, but it's an ideal that we aspire towards. When we look at mastering oneself on every level, these are the domains that I believe are important to look at. So we're looking at physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, sexually, socially, financially, and environmentally. So physically, this would be looking at things like your health and your fitness, becoming strong, becoming fit, becoming capable, really prioritizing your health, your nutrition, your sleep, those kind of things. Mentally, it's about building a mindset that is unshakable. It's about consuming knowledge and information that is expanding your mind as opposed to consuming content and information that is limiting you. Emotionally, it's about becoming emotionally resilient, learning how to process your emotions, learning how to feel your emotions fully, learning how to label your feelings and to be able to communicate what's going on for you. It's also about becoming less reactive and being able to respond to situations as opposed to react. Spiritually, it's about finding that sense of purpose and connection with something greater than yourself. It's about being selfless, it's about being humble, it's about having integrity in the things you're doing. Energetically, this one is about protecting your energy. Things like setting boundaries, making sure your energy isn't scattered, making sure you're directing your energy in an efficient way. And it's also about cultivating more life force to build our container and increase our capacity to hold more life, more energy, to cultivate this creative potential within us that we can then begin to start directing through practices like semen retention or tantra or the Taoist sexual practices, learning to transmute that energy and learning to work with this internal energy. Next one is sexually. So this ties in a little bit to the energetic practice, but it's about learning to work with that sexual energy. So this one is about overcoming lust. It's about overcoming your lower nature. A lot of men don't respect their sexual energy. They use it as a way to release or a way to find comfort. Most men are just leaking it and wasting it every day. This doesn't mean you can't engage in sex, but when you do engage in sex, it means learning to control your arousal, learning how to be a skillful lover, and it's also about learning how to energize your body in that process as opposed to draining your energy. Socially, it's about becoming competent in the social arena, working on your charisma, your storytelling, your charm, learning how to make friends, learning how to build and maintain relationships, learning the importance of community and brotherhood and having that one-to-one connection with people that you can trust, being able to share openly and to have a community of people who are really moving you towards the person you want to be. Financially, it's important to live within your means. So this is about being responsible with your spending. It's about saving what you can. It's about investing when you can. It's about having a solid budget that you can use to manage your expenses, because this is how you build wealth. It's not done by reckless spending, by not checking your bank account. If you're just spending money without looking, there's no plan, there's no budget. There's no pot of money set aside to invest in yourself, to invest in future business, to invest in travel or whatever it is you enjoy doing. There's no awareness, there's no intention with your money. So how are you ever going to be able to become financially independent if you are just recklessly spending and never put any thought into your financial situation? And finally, environmentally. So this is about tailoring your environment to encourage productivity and success. It's about putting yourself in the right situations around the right people who are helping you grow. It's also about taking care of your space, internally and externally. Taking pride in your home, taking pride in your room, and creating a space that promotes mindfulness, that promotes productivity. That's a nice space to be in. So that's a brief overview. Self-actualization. What does it actually mean? To me, it's about becoming who you're supposed to be. So Carl Jung has a quote. He says, "It's the privilege of a lifetime to become who you're supposed to be." And most people never reach their full potential. Most people stay in this dormant state. I personally believe that every person, every soul has a blueprint. Every soul has a map for their highest expression, to become the most full version of themselves, to really fulfill their potential, to figure out their purpose in life and what they came here to do, to become the best version of themselves and to really take their life into their own hands. And the process of self-actualization for me, and this is a process I've been through myself, is number one, overcoming your limitations. Seeing those challenges that you have in life as the pathway to your highest potential and to your highest growth. Seeing what you need to learn to develop and overcome these challenges. Seeing how this is all part of your purpose, even if it's your trauma. Even if it's the things you've struggled with the most. I know for myself, the things I've struggled with the most have led me to the most growth. And they've actually led me to finding my purpose. So don't see your limitations as being hard done by. Don't be a victim of your limitations. Use them to self-actualize, use them to overcome and to develop yourself into the person you're supposed to be. In this sense, no limitation is ever a curse. Every limitation is a blessing. You just have to figure out how to overcome it and how this can help you build yourself. The next one is reclaiming your energy. Stop depleting yourself. Start actually taking control of your energy. Most people are scattered in so many directions. Their energy is constantly being leaked out of them through distraction, through lust, through avoidance, through seeking validation, through comparison on social media, through news, through gossip. All these things are fragmenting your attention and it's pulling your energy out of you. Most men through porn, through lust, through shallow relationships are constantly leaking their sexual energy. This is that creative life force. This is our abundance. This is our potential to create a new life. If we don't use that energy to create a new human, we can use that energy to create new life for us. Elevated consciousness, more creativity, more abundance, putting energy into our vision and into our purpose. This is how we start to begin to cultivate our sexuality, to master ourselves sexually, so that we can begin to use this energy to our advantage instead of letting it constantly deplete us and drain us. Next is awaken your latent potential. When you take this creative energy and you start sending it upwards, you start directing it in a different way. You're unlocking latent potential within you. Every single state or desired outcome or character trait or quality that you want to develop already exists as a state of potential within you. When you have this energy, you're able to transform it and you're able to awaken your potential more fully. You're able to overcome your limitations, to develop these traits and qualities that are already present inside you. Number 4, stepping into your power. Again, this ties into reclaiming your energy, becoming the master of yourself, taking control of your life. Next one, start living intentionally. We're no longer going through life being blown about by the wind, being a victim of circumstance, being a victim of cause and effect. We start living with intention. We start living with purpose. Everything we do it with a desired outcome in mind. We have a plan for ourselves. We cut out things that aren't serving us anymore, and we start building things that are serving us and that are moving us towards the person we want to become. And finally, become the author of your own destiny. Now, this is the final outcome. We're no longer a victim of circumstances. We are the master of our circumstances. We take our trauma and we transmute it. We take our limitations as challenges and we overcome them. We grow, we expand. We're constantly moving towards growth and towards higher aspirations. We design our life. We get clear on what we want and we start moving towards it every day. When you fully awaken yourself, you can no longer be part of someone else's plan. Part of awakening yourself and awakening your soul, figuring out your purpose, is about becoming more intentional, becoming more aware, and beginning this process of self-actualization, fulfilling your potential and working out who you are and what you're supposed to do in this life. So how do we get there from where we are now to where we want to be? And I'll talk about my own experience with this. I was actually addicted to drugs for over 10 years. I completely lost myself and I became a husk of the person I was growing up. And using these 6 pillars of self-mastery, I've been able to completely transform myself and my life from the inside out. A lot of this stuff is internal work. It's an inside job. But we also have to take action in the world. We have to have a plan for ourselves and we have to have a vision. So, number 1 is awareness. Now, we need awareness as the foundation of our personal growth and transformation. Because without awareness, we're going to have these patterns and we're going to have these limiting beliefs that carry on playing out in our lives. If you're wondering why you keep getting the same results in life over and over again, it's probably because you have patterns that are playing out in your life that you're not aware of. limiting beliefs, negative patterns, coping mechanisms, and unconscious behaviors. They will keep playing out until we become aware of them. We need to be able to do a bit of inner work and reflection on what's holding us back. What are the patterns that are keeping us stuck? What's our mindset like? What is our belief system like? Do we have a belief system that aids us and benefits us? Or do we have a belief system that sabotages us and tells us we can't do things and tells us we're not good enough? Unless we have awareness of these things, they will continue to play out. Number 2 is discipline. So once you've revealed the pattern through awareness, you need discipline to be able to break that pattern. Discipline creates the structure for freedom. You know, most people think freedom is to be able to do whatever we want, whenever we want, but that's not really real freedom, because that creates a prison. And it means that we are ruled by our unconscious desires, by our lower nature, and by our impulses and emotions. So we need discipline. And we need to create a structure in our lives that reduces friction to develop these habits that are moving us forward and cut out habits that are draining us and that aren't serving us. Number 3 is cultivation. So this ties back to our energy and our creative potential. It's about cultivating this life force energy. Sexual energy and creative energy, by its nature, multiplies, it expands, and it amplifies. So when we are directing that towards something else in our life, we can grow that thing, whether it's your business, whether it's fitness, whether it's your relationships, whether it's art and creativity. We can learn to start directing that energy in a different way. But we need to be able to cultivate this energy and to stop leaking it. So there are practices we can do like breath work, yoga, qigong to help us harness our life force. And check out my channel for a video I've already made on qigong to harness your life force. And we're going to protect our energy by regulating our nervous system, by grounding ourselves, by spending time in nature, exercising and taking care of ourselves. This is going to give us an abundance of energy, an abundance of life force that we need to start putting that towards our vision. So number 4 is attention. Now, attention is very important because it allows us to begin directing this energy. So we have this abundance of creative potential. Now we have to be able to direct it. Now, if our attention is scattered in all these different kinds of directions, if we have distractions, then our energy is constantly being pulled outwards from us. So we need to be able to become very single-pointed and focused in how we're directing this energy. And we do that through training our attention, through cutting out distractions and training our mental faculties to be able to direct this energy. Once we learn to direct our energy, we need to have something to put into it. So the next step is intention. Now, this is about becoming very intentional about who you're becoming, the lifestyle that you're building, the thing you're working towards. Looking at things like, what are your values? Who are you becoming? What vision are you moving towards? What are you trying to build? What are you trying to develop? This is about visualization. It's about building a mood board. It's about becoming very clear about your what and your why. These are things you need to know in life. You don't really need to know how and when. Those things are taken care of by the universe, but you need to get very clear on your what and very clear on your why. Why are you doing these things? What are you moving towards? And that is your intention. And finally, the final step is integration. So this is where the work stops becoming something you do and starts becoming who you are. It's where you start to find this synergy between all these systems that you have in place, all these things that you have going for you and working for you. They all start working together to create this kind of holistic picture. Your sense of purpose in life and your career shouldn't be separate. Your goals in fitness and spirituality and family and relationships shouldn't be separate. And this will help you to start putting together the puzzle of your life. This is a lifestyle. Now we're taking all these principles and we're integrating it into who we are as a person. That's a very brief overview of the process of self-mastery, the process of self-actualization, and how we can start using these principles to really reclaim our lives and become the author of our own destiny. We can do whatever we want to do in this life. It just comes down to having a good mindset, to having the systems in place that you need, and to having the energy and creativity that you need to do it. Once you have all these things working for you, it's very easy to start moving towards these goals. So finally, we're going to look at a few exercises and practices that you can do to help you on your self-mastery journey. So, reading, obviously pretty self-explanatory. Reading is about expanding your mind and expanding your knowledge. It's giving you a wider perspective on life. It's helping you learn useful tools and mindsets and information that's going to help develop you as a person. Next one, exercise. Obviously goes without saying, healthy body, healthy mind. When you have a healthy body and you exercise regularly, everything else becomes easier. You feel better in yourself, your energy's better, your sleep's better, and you just show up more fully in life with more energy and more confidence. So Health is wealth. Next one is journaling. Now this ties in a lot to the awareness pillar there. It's about building self-awareness. It's about reflecting. Where am I at? What's going on for me? Am I sticking to my values and my goals? Where am I heading towards? What direction am I moving towards? Am I on track? Am I off track? What are the emotions and the negative beliefs and patterns that keep coming up in my life? We need awareness to be able to change these things. If we don't see it, we can't change it. So journaling is going to help you to uncover all these things. Next one is very similar. This is inventory. So taking stock of your life. What vices and habits are holding you back? What are your qualities and assets? What are your talents? Where are you feeling stuck? What are you holding on to? Looking at your fears, your resentments, your shame, your guilt. A lot of people are carrying around these things that really weigh them down. So we need to start releasing that stuff. We need to become more aware of it. And taking an inventory is how we can begin to take stock of our lives. Next one is meditation. Again, goes without saying, increasing self-awareness, increasing consciousness, becoming more aware of yourself in the world. It basically helps you to get an understanding of the bigger picture, to understand your place in the universe, to understand what you came here to do. You can only find that stuff out by turning inwards. No one online is going to tell you your purpose or what you came here to do. No one outside of you can give you the answers. All of these answers will come to you when you sit with yourself. Next one, breath work. Massively important for self-regulation, tying into this emotional regulation, energetic regulation, being able to regulate your nervous system, being able to use your breath as a channel to be able to ground yourself, to be able to manage stress. It's a massively important tool, and it just becomes second nature. When you practice breath work regularly, it's much easier to then pull yourself back, reset, take a few deep breaths. Yoga and Qigong is very similar. This is going to help you to cultivate more life force. It's going to help you to manage your internal energy. It's going to help you to harness that energy and transform it so that you can begin to transmute this sexual energy that we have into creativity, into vitality, into elevated states of consciousness, increased awareness, and all these kind of things. Prayer and gratitude. Now, I feel it's very important on this journey to have a connection with some sense of higher power, whether you call it God, whether you're spiritual, whether it's the universe, however you can relate to it. It's very important to build and develop this relationship. It helps to guide you. It helps you to find meaning in your life. I really do believe that self-actualization means coming here to serve the world and coming here to serve a purpose greater than yourself. And expressing gratitude, I mean, this is an absolute game-changing hack that you can use. When you're grateful for the things you have, you're able to receive more because you're in a state of having. And it's very good to acknowledge the things that we have in life. Even if you have very little, there's always something that you can be grateful for. I think social media is very poisonous in this sense because it makes us not very grateful for the things we do have, and I can fall victim to that myself at times as well. But to be able to come back to gratitude, to be able to give thanks to God, to your higher power, for the things that you do have in life, for the blessings that we have, and that then opens you up to be able to receive more because you're not in a state of lacking, you're in a state of having. Gratitude helps you to feel these elevated states of emotions that can help you really resonate at a higher frequency. Vision/mood board. So again, tying into intention here, we need to be very clear on what we're moving towards. It can be very helpful to have a vision, to write out your dream day. If money were no limit and you could do anything you wanted in life, how would your dream day look? It's good to have that vision, and a mood board can help you to visualize that, can help you picture that. As you start to reaffirm this vision, you're subconsciously moving yourself towards that every single day. Eventually, you're going to fall into resonance with that, and you're going to be able to start drawing that vision towards you, especially if you're cultivating your energy and you have this abundance of life force, increased magnetism, increased aura. It's going to help you to draw this vision into your life. Semen retention ties back to cultivation. It's cultivating your life force energy, this creative, energetic abundance that we can begin to use to imbue our thoughts and our actions with this occult quality, this occult power. Helps our manifestation powers, helps us to call into life our vision. It also helps us resonate at a higher frequency. It builds our energy field so that our energy is coherent and our energy field is strong, which then allows us to draw more experience, more opportunities into our life. Healthy lifestyle. Again, all of this is about healthy living. Holistic lifestyle, taking care of your health, taking care of your diet, taking care of your sleep, massively important. Getting in the sauna, doing some ice bath, doing some cold therapy, regulating your nervous system, getting sunlight, grounding your energy outside, being out in nature, walking, talking with friends, having social connection, all these things massively important. Investing, saving, and budgeting. Now this ties into the financial aspect of life. We need to be able to invest in ourselves ourselves, investing in a course, investing in a mentor, investing in some coaching, or putting some money aside for savings to invest in a business, to invest in shares, whatever it is that's going to help you to build yourself and to build your wealth. Budgeting is also massively important, especially if you're living on a relatively low income. It's very useful to track your spending. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck, maybe because they're on a low income, but it's also because there's probably reckless spending, there's unconscious and unintentional spending, where if you really looked at that and really started having a budget for how much you want to spend on food, fuel, on bills, etc., and any other expenses you might have, anything else you can start putting in a pot towards developing yourself and towards developing your future. Next one is learning. Again, it ties very much into reading. You're expanding your knowledge, you're expanding your capacity, you're expanding your bandwidth of solutions for problems. Whether it's you're learning from books, from videos, from lectures, or from a mentor or teacher, it's basically making you more capable and more competent in the world because you have more access to better knowledge. And the only difference between someone who can and someone who can't, a lot of the time, is the information that they have access to. Next one is routine. For me, it's been massively important. I need structure and routine in my life. I need some sort of weekly schedule to help me stay organized, because otherwise, if I'm left to my own devices, I'll forget things, I won't take action, I won't be very efficient. So having a structured routine just helps me be more efficient and effective in life. Next one, community. Massively important for our sense of safety, for our sense of well-being. It's really important to connect with community, to have that heart-to-heart connection, to be able to get vulnerable, to be able to share, to be able to laugh, to be able to have physical touch is really important. And it's one of the problems we face in this modern day world where everything's online. People are more disconnected, people are more lonely than ever. So it's really valuable to find community. Putting yourself out there and getting that real face-to-face connection is massively important. Next one is service. So again, it ties into the spiritual aspect here. It's about giving of yourself. It's about not always taking and being selfish. It's thinking about what you can do for other people. How can you be of service to the world, to others, to God? And this is massively fulfilling, really builds your self-esteem and really makes your life feel very meaningful. And finally, purpose. And that's what all this is about, really. It's about finding your purpose. And by following these principles, doing the inner work, doing the reflection, building yourself, eventually your life is going to start making more and more sense. You're going to start putting those puzzle pieces together and you're going to start working out your purpose. What did you come here to do? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you get paid for? Those are the questions you want to start asking yourself when it comes to finding your purpose. So I hope that was helpful. There's a lot of information in there to digest. These are the things that have really helped me transform my life from a lost young boy, hopelessly addicted, full of fear, full of shame, full of trauma, and help me move towards becoming the man that I admire, that I respect, living with purpose, loving life, being the best version of myself. So if that resonates with you, please do subscribe for more videos on self-mastery, spiritual growth. Keep an eye out for guided practices that I've made to help cultivate and harness your life force energy. And if you'd like more videos specifically on the 6 pillars of self-mastery or any of these topics, be sure to leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.